Welcome back, everybody. Driver 53 here with another short video on precision farming and Farming Simulator 19. And y'all, today we are taking a look at sugar beets. And we are going to be looking at how the different levels of nitrogen affect yield. Can you over fertilize? Can you under fertilize? That's what we're looking at here today. So let's go ahead and take a look at the map. And once again, this is the same test that we've run on the other crops that I've released previously. So we have our loam, our sandy loam, our silty clay, and our loamy sand. So on loam, our target nitrogen level is 180. For sandy loam, it's 140. For sugar or for silty clay, it actually jumps back up to 160, and then on loamy sand, it's back down to 120. So it's going to be really, really interesting. And let me take you over to the pH map here really quickly. You guys can see this is the same as it has been. We've gone around up here, no problem, around the lake. And this is the nitrogen. So like I was saying, on loam, we're going to be all the way up here. So we shouldn't have a reduction on the top side. We should be okay at 200. There shouldn't be any problem there. But once we get kind of down in this range right here, we should start seeing it drop off a little bit. So the next is going to be sandy loam at 140, which is going to be right in here. And I think we'll be okay on the high side, but on the low side, we're probably going to see a reduction down there too. Silty clay 160, so we're all the way up here. Same again. High is going to be fine, but low, I anticipate to see some reduction. And then on loamy sand, we're at 120, which is going to be here. So we should be okay on the top side, no problem there. It's only 4 points higher, 40 points higher, so we should be all right. But on the bottom side, we'll probably see something there. So it's time to harvest, y'all. I'm going to get in here, get it knocked out, and I'll be back to show you the harvest maps. All right, we got everything picked up off the ground. So it is, well, we got everything harvested. I put it all back on the ground. But it's time to go ahead and check out the maps. So once again, these are our soil types all the way across, starting with silty clay, loam, sandy loam, loamy sand. Let's go ahead and take a look at our pH levels. Everything here is good. As you can see, our stripe did go around the lake, so we're all good there. Next is going to be the nitrogen, and everything came out the way that it should have. I don't see anything here that is odd that we need to take a look at further, so we're good. So here are the yields. All right, so this one is a little bit odd, and I'm trying to do my best at making an educated guess, especially right here on this one. I've got two different levels that show two different nitrogen levels that show two different yield percentages. So I'm going to try my best to make it fair, if that makes sense. And I could be off by 5% here. So please bear with me if you get a different answer than what I have. But we're going to go ahead and get started here on this one at the 125%. And as you can see, this is the one on loam. So loam runs from the 8 to the 9. The top three here are 125. Now these next two are showing half 125 and half 115. So it's a 10-point difference. I'm thinking what happened is it's probably right in the middle, like 120, and it just doesn't know which way to go. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to classify these top three as 125s and the next two as 115s. So the 125s are the 200, the 180, and the 160. Now let's remember that our target is also 180 on this. So typically we can go 20 under and be okay. So that's why I'm putting these at 115. So next, let's go ahead and knock off those 115s. And that is the next two that you see. So the 115%, I have it at 140 and 120 kilograms per hectare. Next is going to be 110. That's going to be just one spot here at 100 points of nitrogen. Next, we're going to have 105. And that's going to be two of them at 80 and 60. After that is the 100. And that is 40 kilograms per hectare is going to give you 100% yield. 95% is going to give you everything else. So if you put absolutely zero nitrogen down on loam, you're going to get 95%, which is really cool. Really cool. You know, and there's no penalty because we're not going over that high. So next, let's go ahead and right here to sandy loam. And And we're going to start off with 100% here. And it's going to be the top 4 nitrogen levels. So that's going to be 200, 180, 160, and 140. Next, we're going to get rid of the 95% right here. And that's going to be your 120 and your 100. Next is going to be 90%. And this is another interesting one that I'm seeing right here. That you can see this one here is mostly in an 85. So that's what I'm going to classify it as. We're going to go ahead and only do one nitrogen level here at 90. And that's going to be your 80 kilograms per hectare. Now at 85, and I could be a little bit off on this just because of the way this next one does. At 85 here, I'm seeing 3. All right, and that's going to be your 20, your 40, and your 60. Now this 60 could be kind of right in the middle between 80 and 85. The way that it's showing for me right now, it's showing more is at 85 than 90, but I'm still going to go ahead and classify it as an 85, just to be on the safe side. So that's that. Now at 80, we're going to get rid of the rest of everything on sandy loam. So typically you're going to get 120. If you don't put any fertilizer in at all, you're going to get 80. So a 20-point drop if you don't do anything at all to the ground as far as nitrogen goes. So let's turn this back on. We're going to go up here to silty clay. That's up here on the top side. So silty clay at 90%, that is the maximum yield that you can expect on this for sugar beet. At 90, we have the top 3. That's going to be 200, 180, and 160. At 85%, we have 2 more drop off. That's 140 and 120. At 80%, we have 2 more drop off. That's going to be your 100 and your 80. 75%, 2 more at 60 and 40. And at 70, you get rid of everything, which is going to be your 20 and your 0. So let's turn all these back on. Now, loamy sand down here. This is the one that snakes around the lake. All right, so we're going to go ahead and start off with 80%. And as you see, it is a big group. But you only start with 120 on the nitrogen. And the 80% goes from 200, 180, 160, 140, 120, and 100. So it's consistent. The good thing is you're not getting a penalty by putting too much in if you do. Next is 75, and that's going to be 2 more spots here. That's going to be your 80 and your 60. At 70%, you're going to get rid of the other 2 at 40 and 20. And rounding it out, 65%, you're going to get rid of everything, which means if you don't put any fertilizer in the ground at all on loamy sand, you're going to have 65% instead of 80. So only a 15-point difference. So once again, everybody, I mean, this is really, it was awkward with this one where we had these couple spots that almost seem like they're in the middle and they don't know where they want to be at. But I think with some of these, you can under-fertilize and not lose a whole ton of yield if it's not a big crop for you and you just need it for something else. Like sugar beets, I mean, they're really good to go to the BGA if you have that capability, or to feed the pigs. So if you don't need a whole lot of pig food, don't fertilize these things. Just get your yield out of it and move on. You're only going to lose 15%. I mean, if you've got a super huge field, sure, but I don't know. It's really, really interesting how precision farming is working with all these. But that's going to be it, everybody. If you enjoyed the video or you learned something today, go ahead and give me a thumbs up if you would. If you want to stay up to date on all my latest precision farming videos, go ahead and make sure you hit that subscribe button. And if you do, go ahead and hit that notification bell too. Have a great day, everybody. Until next time, this is Driver 53, signing off.